This is Intergreen, a Queensland Transport Logistics Council initiative. This program is designed to provide you with steps towards reducing emissions and establishing a more sustainable workplace. By getting into green, you'll be implementing changes that will give you a competitive edge in the marketplace. It'll improve your bottom line by decreasing the effects of rising energy prices, reducing the tax burden, and reducing the time required to deal with climate change legislation. And hey, you'll also be helping to improve the quality of the environment for future generations. So, how green is your organisation? Is sustainability a part of your everyday thoughts, attitudes, and operations? Is it reflected in your core values? Right now, you may not be where you'd like to be, but no matter what stage you're at, we're here to help. As you know, there's a lot of useful information out there. The Intergreen program will give you somewhere to put all of that information and give you the tools you need to put it into action. The program consists of this overview video, a sample of some eco-drive trials, the Intergreen guide, and a data CD with some useful templates. These tools will help you to make a strong start on improving your shade of green. Okay, so let's get started. There's 10 steps for getting into green. Currently, policymakers are moving forward with a price on carbon. The price on carbon is to reduce the effects of climate change and to reduce our emissions in the international arena. Did you know Australia is one of the top 20 polluting countries in the world? So, for example, if we compare Australia's emissions with that of, say, China, China's emissions represent around 20% of global carbon pollution. But on a per capita or per person basis, Australia's emissions are almost 5 times that of China. So there's definitely some room to improve. Australia's transition to a low carbon emission economy will affect us all. It's important to know how a carbon price will affect your organisation. There's a lot of great information on the price on carbon and other policies in the Intergreen guide, as well as some websites you can visit. Your understanding of current policies and legislation will set a foundation for the project you will soon begin. Being able to make informed decisions will better direct your organisation toward a cleaner future and a darker shade of green. Okay, so you need to establish the overarching objective for your Intergreen project. What area will you focus your project on? The Intergreen guide will help you to plan SMART. It will assist you to establish specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed goals. By SMART planning, you'll be able to bridge the gaps between where you are now and where you would like to go as an eco company. Identify someone within your organisation who can promote, support, and defend your Intergreen project. An eco champion. Meet Brady. He has strong leadership qualities and is capable of initiating, encouraging, and ensuring positive change in his workplace. Your eco champion will play a key role in building relationships, teaching and supporting peers. He or she will understand the legislation, the company's goals and business practices, and the overarching objective and green strategy within your organisation. An environmental audit allows your business to gauge how compliant your organisation is with standards and regulations. A desktop audit is a great way for any corporation to identify gaps in their compliance. A desktop audit will help you define the areas to focus on within your project. The Eco Champion will then be in a position to formulate a strategic plan. The helpful templates data CD included with this guide contains some sample audit forms that will really assist you in performing a desktop audit. Environmental audit? Check. Now you need to identify the gaps which will need to be closed for your project to be a success. For example, you might want to focus on fleet purchasing, waste and recycle programs, eco-driving, beginning to end life cycles of plant and equipment, and energy consumption. And there are many others, but you'll need to prioritise which areas to focus on first. take positive steps in a direction that's in line with your overarching objective. By defining the scope of your project, you'll be able to identify appropriate goals and set targets and KPIs to meet those goals. In order to hit your target, you need to know what your target is. You also need to know when your target is, or you might miss it as it flies by. Develop a timeline for the various stages of your project. Smaller, manageable stages will make achieving the overarching objective more simple. The monthly, weekly and daily KPIs you set will help all those involved be accountable to the overall success of the project. KPIs tell you whether or not your team is on track with meeting project target dates. Monitoring success at regular intervals maintains the overarching objective's achievability. It's time to put into green into action. You've come so far, but it'll all be for nothing unless you implement the project. So this is where all of your research and planning comes together. Make sure you discuss the purpose, plans and vision of the project with all staff. This two-way communication should happen before and throughout the project. You'll also need to conduct training and audits with participants. As you collect information on progress, you'll be able to identify any areas where more training and commitment is needed. And you know what? With a little creativity, you can make this really fun. Some friendly competition with KPIs can go a long way. For some more ideas on implementing your project, you can refer to the Into Green Guide, which has heaps of great ideas and suggestions. To monitor and measure, you need detailed reports that capture relevant and reliable statistics. Ongoing monitoring and measuring will provide you with information on project progress. It will determine if you are meeting KPIs, targets, and achieving goals and objectives. You'll also be able to address problems and implement controls for improvement. If during your monitoring stage, a KPI shows you are not on track towards reaching a target, don't worry, there's still hope. Learn from your mistake, take corrective action to rectify the problem, re-evaluate, and if you really need to, create an alternative measure to keep the project on track. In today's modern workplace, even simple incentives can make a huge difference to the commitment of those involved in a project. Incentives are a tangible and meaningful way to acknowledge effort, recognise achievement, and motivate positive change. So, what kind of incentives could you provide? Here's some practical examples. A letter of commendation or acknowledgement, public recognition like workplace or industry awards, minor financial rewards like fuel cards, movie tickets, shopping vouchers or bonuses, or simply opportunities to get together and celebrate success. Whatever you choose, just remember that if individuals are going to make the effort to change their habits to reduce emissions, reduce costs, and improve the company reputation, their efforts should be acknowledged appropriately. Once the project's in motion, you'll be collecting data and seeing results. You'll then be able to plan where to from here and what milestones need to be forecast for the future. Now is the perfect time to reflect on the project, to see how far you've come. Just remember, there'll always be more you can do to forge new priorities and to maintain momentum on existing ones. Change isn't easy, and becoming green will require changes to thoughts, attitudes, and habits in the workplace. You'll need to monitor the ongoing progress and effectiveness of the project well beyond the official completion date. So think about this. How can you address environmental outcomes? How can you reduce carbon emissions and assist in gaining efficiencies? By using the 10 steps we've talked about, you can develop an overarching environmental objective and set goals, targets and KPIs. Plan and carry out regular audits. Identify gaps in current systems and areas for improvement. Integrate a positive sustainability shift throughout the workplace. Monitor, measure and improve project progress. Reward those involved for success and implement a plan to sustain and build on the results of these efforts. Implementing your Into Green projects will be very rewarding as you realise the return on investment by gaining a commercial competitive edge, gaining a reputation for being environmentally conscious, realising measurable financial outcomes, and implementing good environmental practices. For example, some eco-driver projects have seen over 27% reduction in fuel burn, resulting in significant environmental and commercial benefits. These changes will positively affect our environmental impact on a worldwide scale. Together we can make a difference. Let me leave you with a question to consider. What shade of green will you be 6 months from now? All the best with your project. We look forward to hearing about how you got into green.